Hey there, fellow inhabitants of the third planet from the sun. Wasn't that the name of the show that made Robin Williams put him into superstardom status? Mork and Mindy. I thought the show was horrible. I couldn't understand what people saw in it. Except Robin Williams trying to act gay, swinging around on a rope. I'm an alien. Okay. Zombies. Stupid square watching zombies is pretty much what people who don't work, that's what they end up. That's how you end up watching Mork and Mindy to close out your life. Won't happen to me. And to each their own, Anyway. All the people on the third planet from the sun, however many are watching, I don't know. It is March 20th, 2023, Monday. I think it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 20 to 9. 20 to 9 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. You can see the sun is lower later in the morning. As you can see, it's like, coming in sideways. At this time, usually it's not this strong. So, we're at the equinox today or tomorrow. And then it's basically 6 months of the end of 6 months to the solstice, summer solstice, and then 3 months to the summer solstice, and then another 3 months to the autumn equinox, and we go into the cold, dark winter months again. I wonder how much this is going to be different by then, because what the government is letting people like Jamie Dimon do, and all these other carpetbaggers that run the banks in our country, let them do whatever they want. Oh, what happened? You lost $100 billion? No problem. Here you go. Here's the money. That's what our government is giving the money to Jamie effing Dimon. Okay, this guy is the bottom of the barrel, man. He's the very bottom of the greed barrel. There's like a barrel full of greedy tyrants and power brokers. Well, he's in that barrel and he's all the way at the bottom. And they're giving him like $50 billion or something, and they're saying, "Now you be nice, play nice with this money, Jamie, and give it to all the other banks that need it." And he goes, "Sure, I will, sure." JP Morgan tried to create a presence on Facebook. It was like 10 years ago, I think. I forget if it was before or after the global financial crisis, but it was right around then. And they had it up for 3 days and then had to take it down and get rid of it. You want to know why? I think you can figure it out. People were all over that website saying, "You sons of bitches, man, you took my house from me. You got all this money from the government on the bailout." And then, what does JPM stand for? Just pay more? Does this mean I get my mortgage back now that you're on Facebook? So 3 days after they put JP Morgan put their company on Facebook, they took it off of Facebook, and I'm sure the person that had that idea is in the unemployment line, or was. But it gives you an idea of the sentiment that people have towards banks, and you think that they change their stripes or their dots a little bit, their spots. Nah, we're gonna continue to rape the United States taxpayer, because why not? The government's letting us do that. Why not? It's this incestual relationship that the banks have with the government, and it's killing us. It's killing the economic system in our country, and Bitcoin is the answer. And I have not been a fanboy of Bitcoin forever, although the more you understand it, the more you realize, yeah, that's the way to go. Trust these banks with our money, and then there's zero reserve required. If you're a bank and I deposit $100,000 in an account with you, You know how much of that they got to keep on reserve in case they need it in case of a rainy day? Zero! What kind of business model is that? Zero. And that was the Fed. The Fed's telling the banks, don't worry about it, man. We got you back. Hey, we can print up as much money as you need. Don't worry about it. Well, Bitcoin's the answer. And I'll tell you what, if you don't get some, and I'll tell you, the stuff's hitting the fan right now because there's 186 banks in trouble in our country now. And nobody saw this coming. Nobody thought that the end result would be a domino effect of bank failures, but that's exactly what's happening. So, anyway, enough about that. Gives you a headache after about 5 minutes, I know. The choir that I sang in almost sounded really good yesterday. The men struggle. The women are fine. They got it all together. The men, not so much. Pretty bad, really. Although yesterday, we were really close to being good. What kind of category does that put us in? Bad. Yeah, I've been trying to inform and educate friends and family a little bit. My children just totally reject whatever I say about money or pretty much anything else. I think about it. Yeah, I think about it. They don't want any advice from me. Cold shoulder. That's what I get when I try to help them out a little bit, and see what's happening and what's going on, understanding this quasi-economic system, and it isn't. It's a system based on exploitation of people that don't have anything by the people that have everything. And when you have a centralized form of currency like we have with the dollar, the government, man, you've got to be in cahoots with all these other people that at the top of these banks. My anger clouds my judgment when I get on this subject because it is so wrong, immoral, and unethical and we just continue to do it. We're like sheep, being herded by the sheepdogs that work for the banks. Keep us in line, And now they got other banks trying to tasked with the responsibility of bailing out the failing banks. So First Republic, man, they're a little bit in the hole. They're a little bit, on the bottom side of the ledger by about $50 billion. Now, I don't always blame the banks. As a matter of fact, the Silicon Valley Bank failure wasn't their fault, in my opinion. They were advised to buy treasury notes 12 years ago when the interest rates were really low. So they said, that's the safest place to put our money, or to put our clients' money. And everybody said, yeah. They buy these, they have to be at least 10-year term, maybe 15-year term treasury notes that pay 1.5% interest. They buy that bond from the government. So it's the principal, and then for giving the government, the money for the bond, the government turns around and pays you back with interest. 1.2%. Well, guess what? The interest rate now is closer to 5%. Who's going to buy those 1.2% bonds? They got a little bad publicity and a run happened. And they had the money to give everybody, but they had to sell these bonds that were worthless. If you're looking to buy a bond, a 10-year treasury note, one is for sale with 1.2% interest, and the other one is for sale at 5% interest. Which one are you going to buy, do you think? You're not going to buy the one that pays 1.2% interest. So all their bonds failed. Looks like a jet just landed. That can be a real work of art, landing, especially on a downhill runway. It is a jet. Anyway, so what happened with SVB was they followed the advice of everybody, bought these government treasury notes, and now they're worthless. And they're broke because of that decision. Nobody talked about that. Jim Cramer. He doesn't have a clue. Cramer. Clueless Cramer is what they ought to call him. So any bank that's holding these treasury notes, now they're worthless because the interest rates went up so high. And the Fed raised the interest rates so high and so fast that it's like a shock to the system. And on Investment Answers, James on Investment Answers, he called it. He didn't call it. He didn't say specifically the banks were going to fail, but he said, look at what happens. The Fed raises the interest rate. Our government is $31 trillion in debt. Okay. Now I had thought that my credit cards were out of control 4 years ago. I had $46,000 in credit card debt. My business failed, and I was working 2 minimum wage jobs full time, no benefits. So that's on the ropes. That's what you call being on the ropes. 46. They're 31 trillion. You can't even comprehend. The human mind is not capable of comprehending a number like a 31 trillion. Like, you want to start counting to 31 trillion, see how long it takes you. Anyway, it's breaking. It's in the process. Our financial system is in the process of breaking. Although I see cars and trucks all over the roads all the time, so things aren't completely stagnant. But it's a corrupt, immoral, and unethical financial currency that we use now. And Bitcoin is the answer. Nobody can mess with Bitcoin. It should be the world reserve currency. But politicians don't like it because they lose control. They lose their power. And what do our politicians care about? Us? No. Power. That's what strokes a guy's ego. Power. Anyway, I hope you have a good Monday. It's Cavu here, incredibly. I didn't think it would be. And it's cold. It's well below freezing. It's freezing. It's like 27 degrees. Which March 20th, that's not unusual. And it's the solstice today. So enjoy the solstice. You and all the other druids. Wasn't that the cult that worshipped the sun in England like a millennial ago? The druids. Check out that religion. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.